Alright guys, day 11, part 2. So in this video I want to talk about the fact that I walk on average around 20,000 steps every single day, and usually more than that, honestly. And I want to talk about, first of all, how I do it, and second of all, the benefits of doing it. So first of all, how do I actually do it? Because I know a lot of videos start off with the benefits like, this is good for you, that's good for you, but then they don't actually get to the point of how you're actually supposed to do the thing, which is pretty annoying. It's like clicking on those webinars from those YouTube ads that show up that teach you how to make money online, or how to make money with this new side hustle or this new concept, and it ends up turning into this whole big sales pitch, and they never actually tell you what the thing is or explain anything to you. They just like brag about they don't really brag, but like it's just buyer psychology, you know, like they put themselves in your shoes, they make sure that so that they can relate to you, and then they like show like how great their life is now and depict the life that you want to live, and then they sell their product as the means for you to achieve that life that you desire. And so that's the whole thing, like if you were ever wondering, or if you didn't figure it out already. But yeah, it's pretty annoying. So I'm just going to start off with how I do it first. So I mentioned in my previous videos that I like to work in intervals, which means I will typically work for a certain period of time depending on the task, and then I'll take a break following that task for again an allotted period of time. So depending, like for example, let's say it's a difficult task. Let's say like it's some kind of academic work that I'm really not in the mood to do. Although I do enjoy what I'm studying, I'm not pursuing something useless in college, I promise you that. I will reveal what I'm studying in college eventually, but that's besides the point right now. But let's say like I have some tasks I really don't feel like doing, that I might be prone to procrastinate on, and it's actually just difficult, it's energy consuming, it's time consuming. I will reduce the amount of time I expect myself to work on that task for. And like let's say for example, like I prefer to work on tasks for anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes and batch tasks into 60 to 90 minute blocks. For tasks that I enjoy doing, I will batch tasks into 2 to 3 hour blocks. For tasks that I don't like doing that much, I will batch into like 30 to 40 minute chunks, really. So like it really depends on the difficulty of the task. Now after the work session, after I'm done working on the task, after I've been productive, been efficient, I worked smart, worked hard, you know, I exhausted myself to a certain extent, I will take a break usually for half of the time that I spend working. So if I work for an hour and a half, for example, I will take a break for anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes. And so, you know, that might seem like a lot to productivity gurus on the internet, but I do what works for me, and I love it. So you guys focus on doing what works for you. But anyways, I find that that's what works for me. That's what I enjoy, and it's like it also gives me a buffer in case something takes longer than I expect it to, and I can always start working earlier if I want to. I always tell myself that my breaks are optional, that they're there if I need to take them, but if I don't and I just feel like working, I will skip them gladly, and I'll just go straight onto the next task. But it's giving myself that option that makes it much easier to get started, because it makes the overall process less daunting. It lowers the expectation up front so that it's easier to get started on the task at hand, which practically eliminates procrastination altogether, because it's something that I used to struggle with. So that's a productivity nugget for you. I'm a productivity nerd, in case you couldn't tell. So you know, I like to talk about it a lot. But anyways, so it's during these breaks that I walk a lot. One of my rules is I follow a lot of protocols, and so one of these protocols that I follow is that I am not allowed to sit during any of my breaks. Unless I'm eating, I do not sit down during any of my breaks, which means I'm always standing, moving, or walking. So that in itself, by the end of the day, by the time I'm done working for the day, my cutoff time is later in the evenings, like basically like after dinner. I'll have a very, very little work to do, very, very little. Maybe it'll just be miscellaneous tasks like checking emails and shit, and then scheduling the following day, and then I'm done. Like I stop working. I have a strict cutoff time for it because I don't want it to affect my sleep, and I don't want to overstimulate my mind later in the evenings. So just doing that alone, walking during all my breaks and refusing to sit during each one of them, because I'm typically sitting when I'm working. In college, you know, I don't have a standing desk. I wish I did. At home, I do. It's pretty nice. And no, I got it for a pretty good deal. But anyways, over here I don't, so I'm usually sitting when I'm working, which is why I emphasize it even more when I'm over here. And just doing that alone, just moving during those breaks, just walking, I don't even have to be walking fast, but you know, just doing that, I exceed 10,000 steps a day every single day with ease. Now, the way I get the remaining, I'd say 6,000 to 8,000 steps, usually, if I haven't already crossed like 15K, is in the evenings. I do like going on long walks. In the evenings, it's actually typically when I record these videos. When I'm walking, I either listen to music, or I listen to a podcast or an audiobook, or I listen to nothing and I just enjoy nature, the sounds of nature. And eventually, like I take while I'm walking, or while I'm standing at least, I will record these videos, and then I'll go back to walking. And so it's during this period wherein I'm walking, I'm rejuvenating myself, and also documenting my thoughts, documenting what I've learned, and hopefully you guys find it valuable. And so I'm doing that while I'm walking, and so that's how I get the remaining 20,000 steps in every single day. And it's very, very possible to do if you are disciplined with how you schedule your days. If you know how to time block properly, and if you actually execute upon what you time block, you make it realistic, you make it feasible, you make it easy for you to do by making it clear what exactly you need to do during a specific time interval, and not just what you need to do, but how you need to do it. Like if you have a task of, let's say, writing an essay, and you give yourself an hour to do it, you don't just write your essay. Instead, you schedule during that time. First, come up with the idea for the essay. This is for the first 10 minutes of the block. And then for the next 15 minutes of the block, create an outline of the essay. And then for the next 30 minutes of the block, write 30% of the essay, and so on. And you give yourself steps, like a checklist, and telling you how you're going to complete a task, and during what duration you're going to complete that task. And that will make it much, much easier for you to start working on a task, because procrastination is often a result of uncertainty, which blocks your mind from being able to work on a task, because your lizard brain is afraid of your lizard brain's survival mechanism is basically to stay away from things that are uncertain, because uncertainty equals danger to your lizard brain. And so it wants to prevent you from experiencing any kind of pain. It's just a survival mechanism, and the easiest way to overcome it is to make it clear that there's nothing dangerous out there to your lizard brain, which basically means having clear goals and objectives for what it is that you're going to accomplish during a specific block of time that you've scheduled in your day. And so, yeah, another productivity nugget. Like, I'm just going off here. I just like talking about productivity, geeking out on it. Anyways, I hope you guys found that valuable. I hope I delivered the point on how I get the 20,000 steps a day. Now, moving on to the benefits, you can probably Google them, but for the most part, walking a lot makes you live longer. Go search it up, go read like scientific articles. I won't explain all of it, but here, like in this video, actually I won't explain any of it really. But movement in general, walking, taking breaks from sitting will make you live longer. Okay, it's a known scientific fact. It will make you live longer. Just go search it up. Go ask any doctor that you want. They'll tell you the same thing. Okay, it's gonna make you live longer. Number one, like that in itself should be enough motivation for you to start walking. And number two, walking actually burns a lot of fat. Many of you might know this. I already talked about this in one of my previous videos on this channel, not the main channel, talking about how to lose weight without exercising or counting calories. I forgot what I titled the video, but anyways, basically, when you're walking, because it's low intensity, long form cardio, your body mobilizes fat instead of glucose. So like your body has two types of energy. Your body stores energy in two ways, essentially. It stores energy in the form of lipids, which are basically fats, and it stores energy in the form of sugars, carbohydrates, which is basically glucose. Now, when you're doing something high intensity, like sprinting or running or playing a sport, and you need energy quickly, you need it fast, and you need a lot of it, like very, very quickly, right? When your body needs to produce a lot of energy very quickly, it will rely on glucose, because glucose, although it doesn't have as much energy as fats, glucose can be converted to energy much faster than fats can be. It takes longer for the body to convert fats to energy, and so your body will rely on glucose when you are exercising vigorously. However, when you focus on low intensity, long form cardio, although it does take longer to do, first of all, your body will mobilize fats. Your body will essentially choose fat as its energy source, as its fuel source when you're walking, instead of glucose. It'll reserve the glucose for when you actually need it, when you're vigorously exercising. But when you're walking, since you don't need the energy as quickly, your body will rely on burning fat for fuel. And so you essentially, like, instead of burning sugars, which is what happens when you run, you walk, which is a lot easier to do, and you end up burning fat. And so it took so long for me to find out about that, but once I did, I was like, screw running. I mean, I still I do run just for the cardiovascular benefit. It's still healthy. You should definitely do it. But you know, walking is definitely my main thing, my main form of cardio. It's specifically zone 2 cardio. You can search it up. It's basically when you keep your heart rate in a certain range, and that's what's optimal for all of this, for like the benefits that encompass walking. And another thing with walking is that if you're on a diet, if you're cutting, if you're in a caloric deficit of some kind, walking is a great way to get your cardio in, because it doesn't amp up your appetite. It will not make you hungrier unless you walk for 3 or 4 hours straight. Okay, but if you're just walking, like it's a great form of cardio. It's going to burn fat. It's going to make you live longer, and it's not going to increase your appetite to the point where it becomes too difficult for you to stick with your diet. And so it's like a win-win-win-win-win-win. So yeah, those are the benefits, the main benefits of walking, apart from just general mobility and flexibility. Especially as you age, you're going to get weaker. Your body's going to get weaker. So if you combine a strength training from now onwards when we're young, and you know, also mobility work, focusing on the joints, getting a lot of walking, good cardio, it's going to be much easier for you to retain muscle when you're older. Hence, your body won't deteriorate as fast, and so you'll live longer, and you'll face fewer issues related to, you know, your bones and your muscles. You're basically your musculoskeletal system. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys found that valuable. And yeah, this video has gotten long. Okay, it's gonna take a while for me to upload this video too, just like the last one that I recorded. Anyways, I hope you guys found it valuable. Do subscribe if you did. Leave a like if you want to. Comment something else that you want me to talk about, and I'll gladly make a video on it. If not on the main channel, at least I'll do it here for sure. So yeah. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.